Hey everybody, it's Aaliyah Freeman. I'm your travel agent with Travel with Classy Lynn. I'm excited because I get to come on here and talk about travel, but I want to talk about something that's very important, especially in the times that we are in, and also too because it's the most overlooked thing within the travel industry. So the first thing I want to talk about is travel insurance really worth it? And everything that you need to know before you fly or before you travel, period. Okay. So one thing that I think is important is that you understand what exactly is insurance and why it is important. Um, First and foremost, I want to say travel insurance means that it will cover you. Travel insurance will protect you. It will cover you while you travel away from home. So this means when you take a flight for a work trip, or if you take a road trip, or if you decide to fly out the country, you can invest in travel insurance to protect you if anything happens. Now, the only thing that people who overlook travel insurance, they don't understand the details of what all it includes. Okay. So most of the time people try to skip travel insurance because they think that it's a waste of money or they don't want to add on the extra money that it costs because they're just looking at the cost. And so, what I can say is, I always pray that nothing on a trip happens, but we're living in a time today where anything is possible to happen. And so, you want to talk about when your trip get canceled, or so usually travel insurance can cover if your trip get canceled. Let's say, for instance, you get sick or there's an emergency or you lose your job, your travel insurance will help protect you in those situations. But also too, if there's any medical emergency, especially abroad, right? Because what you don't know is when you start flying into certain countries, they have different rules and regulations. And sometimes the cost of things can be extremely expensive. Or there's some incidents where maybe certain countries don't cover certain things. And so you want to make sure that you are aware of what those things are because you just never know. You may get on an excursion and you may hurt yourself. Or let's say, for instance, you fly somewhere and they lost your luggage or your luggage is delayed. Travel insurance will cover these things. They will be able to reimburse you or be able to protect you if you lose your luggage. Let's say for instance, if there's flight delays or any misconnection, travel insurance will help you to be sure you get on another flight without an extra expense. Also, too, if there's an emergency evacuation, we don't think about these things, but anything is liable to happen these days. What it typically does not cover is if you decide to change your mind. Now, unless you add cancel for any reason. So meaning when you purchase travel insurance usually comes in different tiers. So one of the tiers is where you can actually purchase the travel insurance and it will put the money back on a voucher. And what that means is whatever that vendor is, let's say for instance you booked it with Delta Vacation, then Delta Vacation will put it on a voucher and you won't be able to use that voucher unless you are booking with Delta Vacation again, right? And so that doesn't mean if you decide to use JetBlue, you can use that voucher. No, you have to use that particular voucher with Delta Vacation. And so, if that is something that you don't want to consider, then you want to consider the other tier, which is you can actually get all of your money back. Now, usually that tier is more expensive than getting it on the voucher. So, do understand that that is an option, but it will probably cost more. All right. And then also, too, it does not um it does not cover any pre-existing condition. So unless it's covered in advance. So if you have something, when you get the insurance, I always encourage people to read over it to see the details of what it includes and what it does not. Because different travel insurance companies cover certain things, they give you a certain amount to cover for medical. And so these things are some stuff that you want to make sure you consider. All right. And then also, if you read your policy and you don't understand something, be sure to reach back out to me. And then therefore we can be able to get clarity on what all your policy entails. Now, when you purchase the policy, it is best to get it as soon as you book the trip. But there are some companies that will allow you to purchase travel insurance all the way up before you go on the trip. Okay, so you can't purchase it while you're out there on the trip, but you can get it in advance before the trip. All right. So when you should definitely get travel insurance is when you are taking international trips. Why? Because healthcare is not the same as the U.S. healthcare. So you want to be sure that you have health and medical insurance because the last thing you want to do is spend thousands of dollars on your credit card to cover expenses that were out of your control due to you not having travel insurance. Also, too, when you're on a cruise, you just never know. Lord forbid, but let's say you get left behind off the ship and the ship pulls off. Travel insurance will protect you. Travel insurance will help you with the expenses of those things. If you're doing group travel, destination wedding, that covers if anything happens, it will cover you. Um, if you're traveling with kids, especially, we all know how kids are always getting into something. If you're traveling with seniors, that's another thing in case something happened while they're traveling. You know, we don't want these things to happen, but we want to be prepared just in case. And then also too, if your trip costs over $1,000, you want to protect that trip. You want to make sure that if you can't go or if something happened, you're able to get that back. All right, so I want to say, I want to say should you get the travel insurance? I always advise people to get travel insurance, especially because of the times we're living in. Flights are getting canceled. As you see, sometimes the flights are canceling at airports or at you might notice certain airlines may cancel all the flights. It's totally out of your control. But what happens if you don't get your money back? What happens if you just lost a whole trip due to not having travel protection? So these things are very important, and know that travel protection is not just protection, but it gives you a peace of mind. Okay. So I just want to close this out. So if you are planning a trip, do be sure that you are choosing the right travel insurance. And I can be able to help you with that as a travel advisor, making sure you choose the right travel insurance for what you're trying to do, especially if you've never purchased it before. But do reach out. I would love to help you get the right travel plan. And then also to book a consultation with me. You could visit the website classylandtravel.com. Check the link below and go to our website and book a consultation with me. Let's go ahead and start your travel planning. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If this video was very helpful for you, be sure to share it with a friend and let that friend share it with a friend too. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. I'll be sure to jump on here to give you more tips about travel.